All right. Tonight we talk about Dune. Um, so I'm here with a special guest once again, Kyrie. Or I should say, gaming with Kyrie. Introduce yourself once again.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Kyrie with Gaming with Kyreezus here to talk about some Dune today.
And why is my phone going off? I do not know.
Oh, I thought that was like an introduction bell or something like that. Like, dang, I get the hype train during the introduction.
That's just YouTube let me know that it just started.
Ah,
Originally, originally I was just gonna pre-record this thing because you on StreamYard you can just record it and then
mhm.
make it its own video. But I say, hey, what the hell? I probably have to do some things to it anyway. But yeah, we're gonna talk about Doom. But before we start talking about Doom, for anybody who's going to come in, and anybody who is going to watch this on the playback, which it seems like for our live stream, a lot of people did, hit that like button. Don't be shy. But anyways, let's get into this movie.
Let's do
Uh,
it.
damn, where should I start with this movie?
Uh, should we start with a plot breakdown for those who are wondering what it's about?
Yeah, for the newbies like me, a newbie,
Me too.
never read the books.
I bought all
Never,
six of them today.
you crazy. Haven't watched the 80s version, 19, I think it's 84 version, then it's like 2000 ministry, so I haven't done anything. I came into this thing as a total newbie, not knowing a damn thing. And this is the first time in a very long time that I've done that with something. So, let's go. Let's
Oh,
start.
let's do it. You want me to start with the breakdown or?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay, so basically, for those who haven't, you know, that don't know about the universe, this is an old universe. The first book was released in, I believe, 1956. So this series has been around for a while. But basically, what we're dealing with in the movie, I actually like to call it Game of Thrones in space. Basically, that's basically what it reminded me of. But you have um, two houses who are part of the Imperium. You have House Harkonnen and you have House Atreides, and then you also have the Emperor. But these two houses, they've been in a political war for years, like a very, very long time. And you have the House of Harkonnen. House of who is it? What's it called? Harkonnen. House of
I
Harkonnen.
think it's Harkness.
Yeah, you got the House of Harkonnen, and they have been on the planet of Arrakis for years, and they have been mining their resources, a very important resource called spice. What spice is used for? It's used for technology, it's used for health reasons. There's a bunch of things, but this is like one of the most valuable resources out of the whole universe that they were talking about. So they've been doing that, and they've been making billions of Solaris a year. Solaris is the money that they use, the term they use for money in this movie. Um, but essentially, things kind of changed. The Emperor has made a decision, and I want to say it without spoiler. Are we doing spoilers on here?
Oh, yeah. Spoilers.
Okay. So there are spoilers, guys. So if you have not seen the movie yet, now would be your time to exit this and come back after you've watched the movie. So basically, the Emperor has sided with the House of Harkonnen. And the reason that he sided with the House of Harkonnen is because they have been very wealthy. And obviously, as you know, wealth, it means influence. So basically, the Emperor and the House of Harkonnen have plotted against the House of Atreides. The House of Atreides is a very noble house. The Emperor is a jealous man. The reason that he did that is one, for the money, and two, he does not want the House of Atreides to supersede him and his scope of reach within the Imperium. So they remove the House of Harkonnen from Arrakis. A House of Atreides goes there. People kind of know what's up. You got the Duke, and you have his son. His name is Paul Atreides. And then you have their mom, who is a Bene Gesserit. Her name is Jessica. So the Bene Gesserit, there's some like religious political force who are controlling politics in the background. And it's a really great story. Like from there, things just like it keeps your attention. It's upbeat the entire. I wouldn't say upbeat, but for me, I thought it was a lot of action. Did you think it was a lot of action, or you thought it could have been more?
I thought it could have been more because there was some slow parts, especially in the
Yeah.
beginning. Like, you gotta think for me, just getting out of work and everything.
Yeah,
You
you're
better
probably
speed.
tired.
Yeah, you better speed that motherfucker up. Show me some action, get me involved. But um, no, go on with the plot because I wanted to speak about the actual director, what he says about current movies now. But keep going on with the plot.
Okay, so yeah, they get to the planet Arrakis, and the Duke of the House Atreides, he's trying to get things in order because he knows the attack is coming. Like their whole house knows that they're being set up. So their whole point is, they don't care about the spice. They really care about partnering with the people of Arrakis, which is the Fremen. The Fremen have been there for a while. They're a very ingenious group of people. They've learned how to survive in this desert land, which Arrakis is. It's very limited resources. There's no trees. There's no grass. It's very limited water there. And then like there's these big worms that inhabit the planet that are very dangerous. But they've learned how to live here, and they've become some of the most dangerous warriors in the Imperium. Like they're very, very good fighters. So they basically run out of town. That time, the House of Atreides runs out of time, and the Duke knows it. He's like, I thought we would have more time to prepare for this. So basically, the House of Harkonnen, the Emperor, and what was the planet called? The Sardaukar, the Emperor's Blades.
Something like that. Let me look it up right quick
Yeah, it was a
on my
very
phone.
it was a very hard term to pronounce. But basically, you got this planet they're basically special forces of the galaxy. Like they are the best warriors, and they talking big mess too. They're like, hey, why does the Harkonnen need us? And the guy that represents the Harkonnen, the messenger, the speaker, or the change, or whatever he is, he's like, hey, the House of Atreides, like they're some of the best warriors in the Imperium too. And the Sardaukars, they're like, that don't matter. Everybody that goes against us falls against our blade. So they're a part of the attack. So you got these two dangerous forces. Like the Harkonnens are relentless, and so are the Sardaukar. Like your introduction to the Sardaukar was them drinking the blood of their enemies, I'm guessing, or the slaves that they have. Like these people were like upside down. What did you think of that whole part when they introduced the Sardaukar?
Cruel, unjust, vampires, whatever you want to think of. They evil motherfuckers.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that.
very evil. Like it's just this dark, relentless vibe that you get, and then there's just like this weird music going on when they first introduce him, but like you could tell like they mean business. So the attack happens, and basically, again, spoilers, the House of Harkonnen, they had an inside man, which ended up being their medic or their doctor that they have with the family. I forgot his name. I don't remember what his name was.
Wellington. Dr.
Yeah,
Wellington. That's what his name was.
gotcha. Yeah, Dr. Wellington. He basically betrays the family. But in doing so, he still tries to help Paul, which is the Duke's son. So like a little bit about Paul, the reason that he wants to help him is apparently he's supposed to be the one. He's supposed to be what's his overall, like what was Paul's overall, like was he like the messiah to these people? I guess we still need to know more about the movie, obviously, because they only showed us half of the first book. But he's supposed to be like a messiah. So his mom's been training him in the way of the Bene Gesserit. Again, the Bene Gesserit, they are a lethal group of women as well. So they are religious political force. They're only loyal to themselves. They train their minds and their bodies for powers called the voice, or they're called truth sayers, I guess. And the voice is like it's almost like the force in a sense. They can command you what to do with this creepy, strange voice. What was your reaction when you first heard that voice?
A creepy ass Jedi mind trick.
Super creepy Jedi mind trick. That's exactly what I thought as well. So like your first introduction into it is like very early on in the movie when Bene Gesserit Jessica, Paul's mom, is trying to train him. You're kind of like, whoa, what was that? But basically, Paul's not here by accident. The Bene Gesserit have actually implanted his mom, Jessica, into the house of Atreides. So this, for generations, they've been trying to get a bloodline that's going to be strong enough to produce their Messiah. And that's going to be Paul. That's what everybody's thinking. When Paul is first introduced to Iraqis, the Furman people are cheering and they're yelling Lisa Ba Gali or something like that, somewhere around the terms, and it means Messiah. So that's why the doctor helps Paul and his mom, even though he was betraying the family in the house of Atreides. Paul's able to find some help. You know, he's a smart guy. They camp out overnight in a sand dune or something like that. I don't even know where they were, but they're able to find Duncan, Idaho. Duncan, Idaho is basically like a knight for the family, a protector.
And he's also Aquaman.
He's also Aquaman. How did you think he did in this movie?
He did all right. Wish you'd seen more out of him. And see, like, you see him, then you see him, then you don't see him, then he's dead.
Yeah, I really did want to see a little bit more out of him, especially like the combat. But he's trained Paul, so like he's nice. Like Paul's an assassin. Like he's nice. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'll leave it there. I don't want to spoil the end of the movie unless you want to give him the rundown of the end. But I thought it was a pretty good plot, a pretty good story overall. I knew within the first 30 minutes I was gonna love this movie.
It's a decent plot. For people, let's say this, for people like myself and probably others who trying to get over the death of Star Wars, this could possibly be something close to Star Wars, possibly in the future. Who knows? As long as the goofballs stay away from it, which I think they should, because you already know they already complained that there's no leads that they want to see, like your female lead or your other leads they be having on these days when it comes to some of the other franchises. But pretty much oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I think even with that, I don't think people will complain about that for the simple fact that I just think the female leads are very present in this movie. Like you got a whole Bene Gesserit, like they're nothing to play with. And then, you got Jessica, then you had Dr. Kynes. So there were some pretty strong female leads. So I think people should be satiated on that front.
And that's how it should be. Not this force crap that they've been having now.
Yeah.
That's why, once again, Star Wars is dead now because they forced this agenda on it and they forgot about all the plot and everything else and alienated the rest of the fans. This doesn't do that, people. Far away from doing that. What I wanted to say about what really got me is the cinematography. That cinematography is beautiful, and the director, I always get his name. I think his name is Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Every movie I seen from him, which is I think this is the third one now, because he directed Sicario. You remember Sicario, right?
Yeah, he did Sicario.
And he did Blade Runner 2049 movie. I watched all up until the end, up until Harrison Ford came out of nowhere and fell asleep on. That cinematography for Blade Runner 2049 is amazing. It is very well done. Too bad it was too slow in parts.
You talking about this one or 2049?
2049.
Yeah.
Blade Runner 2049 was kind of slow in some areas. And what he said for this movie, because he had I think he was standing for some, when they promote their movies a couple of weeks ago, he said something that I had to agree to, that Marvel movies, particularly beating on Marvel movies are theme parks at the cinema. He said they have no heart. They don't try to build upon like the human soul or anything. It's just Disney just puts them out there, hoping that all you guys are gonna spend I wouldn't say waste your money, but spend your money on it, which everybody does. I didn't for the last Marvel movie, but they're basically what he said, and this is also what Martin Scorsese said. I think he said this right after the release of what's the name of that movie? It's not a mob. It's a mob movie. I forgot the name of it. It had all the old actors that used to be in mob movies back in the day, but I forgot the name of it. Damn it. It's left my head right now. But he said the same thing. All these Marvel movies are just basically theme park movies with no heart, no soul, barely no plot. The plot's the same every movie. And he come out with 1,500 sequels per year. And you really can't think about these movies because it's on to the next one.
Right.
This one is a little bit different. We don't know when the next sequel is going to come because in Marvel movies, the sequel to that Marvel movie is already planned and directed by the time this movie, the previous one, is already released. So
yeah, I think that's a good point. Like for people that got like an itch for Star Wars, and just to put it out there, I watched some director's clip, and George Lucas got a lot of his inspiration from Star Wars from these original book series. Because again, this series came out way before Star Wars. The first book was released in 1956, so there's definitely that vibe, and you can see some similarities within the story as well. I almost kind of see Paul Atreides is like a form of Anakin in a sense. I don't know if you got that vibe. Did you?
Kinda. He's running around in the desert with his mom.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, like young Anakin here, but he's in the weird teenage adolescent stage. Who would you say your favorite character was from the entire film?
Oh shoot. Damn, that's pretty hard. I wish you would have saw more out of Oscar Isaacs.
Yeah, I would say. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Favorite character had to be the main character.
Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say definitely Paul and Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, the leader of the House of Harkonnen. But I think Paul was my favorite just because you got to see his development in 2.5 hours, from him having that first conversation before him and his father left Caladan, their home world, just kind of talking about, I don't think I'm ready to be a leader, to him fully accepting that role at the end of the movie through these visions that he's been having about what's to come in the future with this mysterious girl that he keeps seeing in these visions, who's played by Zendaya. Her name is, what was it? Channy or something like that? Or
Yeah.
Don't destroy me, internet. I don't remember what her name was, but yeah, I think his story was just, it had a lot of levels to it. There's kind of some resentment from him to his mom because he really didn't want to be in this. He kind of felt like his life's already predetermined by the work that the Bene Gesserit's been doing. So there's a little bit of resentment there. Did you kind of get that too, or?
Oh, I definitely got when he was in the desert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Started yelling at her.
Yeah, that was actually one of my favorite scenes from the film, because you start to see like what's getting ready to play out in the future. It's kind of warming you up for that.
Yeah, it's the second movie this year that I actually seen that happen. People going to see the future and you see stuff.
Yeah.
Did that with Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League.
What were your thoughts when they first showed Baron Harkonnen?
What the heck is that? Like that first scene, like, I don't know, what is he in, a freaking tank or something, or a tub?
It seemed like he was in like some futuristic sauna or something like that. He's just lounging and bathing.
I'm like, who is this fat piece of crap sitting here? You know who he's played by, right?
Who?
Because
I haven't looked at the cast yet, surprisingly.
He's also in the MCU. Natalie Portman's friend, not the older guy.
I'm looking at it right now.
Stellan Skarsgard.
Oh yeah, Stellan Skarsgard.
Yeah, he played the doctor, scientist in the Thors.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh yeah, that is him. I remember him. But yeah, he did an incredible job. Like he did a great job, like acting. Like you felt his overwhelming power. I think the part that tripped me out the most was like the introduction, and then he had like this thing on his back that kind of lit up. But when he was talking, they were talking about their plans like right before they attacked House Atreides on Arrakis, and this dude started floating in the air. I'm like, yo, that's kind of spooky, but cool at the same time. That was
funny. The part I was laughing at when Oscar Isaac released that poison capsule. And he killed all, and then he went in there. He's sitting on the ceiling. It's like, what is wrong with him? He on the ceiling like that.
Man's just up there floating, curled up in a ball, fighting for his life. And you can tell like the medics or whoever they were kind of like taken aback too. Like, what the heck is going on right now? Like, I don't know what I would do in this universe because it's too creepy. It's a lot of stuff going on. It's powerful, but good movie though.
I say it's a decent movie. I probably have to watch it again.
I've already watched it twice.
Damn, you watched it twice already? Should have watched it in IMAX instead at home. Cause you just sitting at home, you'll be sitting there like, time to go to sleep. Sitting on that couch.
Yeah, I'm actually strongly considering going to see it at a third time in the IMAX theater myself.
But I don't know where is the nearest IMAX around here. I don't know where that could be. Somewhere in Tempe. I don't know.
I want to see it in actually one of those 40X theaters in California. Those 4D theaters or whatever they call it.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know if they got them anywhere out here.
Yeah, I looked. All I saw was the ones in California, but yeah, it was still good at home. I got the surround sound here, so I still got a good little decent experience.
Mine did not work at all. Tried to use the TV speakers.
Man, gotta get you an LG sound bar.
Trying to look for one. I was trying to hear it like in the beginning, but I was trying to hear what they was talking about. I said, I can't hear
Super low. Super low. I had my speaker on like 28 and I was still like I had to turn the captions on because I still couldn't hear what they were saying sometimes and point to the movie. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a good movie. I think this is actually, I'm not even lying, this is probably my favorite movie. I've already seen it twice in 2 days. I bought all 6 books and I've actually been researching the universe a lot because it just got my attention within like the first 19 minutes when you're introduced to the voice and then you're trying to figure out what's going on with the Bene Gesserit and his mom and that whole situation. It's like you get so much depth of the plot like early on, and we're only through the first half of book 1, so there's still a lot of story to be told. And the way it ended, it definitely leaves you wanting more at the end of the movie.
I was just hoping it doesn't go the way of Lord of the Rings. Well, mainly The Hobbit. Maybe
Yeah,
it probably will.
I think it's probably going to go more so in a sense of Star Wars and release 6 movies possibly, or maybe even more than that. Because I mean, when they tried to, there's a lot of plots to uncover. When they tried to release this movie in the 80s for the first time, they said they had like a 14-hour run script. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of plot to be told. So I think they're probably going to come out with at least 5 or 6 movies, maybe even 7, if they're going to keep doing this half a book thing, possibly.
Probably will. Most likely will. What was I going to say? Josh Brolin did die, right?
Oh, what character was that?
He was like his trainer.
I believe he did because we didn't hear anything from him after that attack. So yeah, we didn't hear about. I didn't see Gurney Halleck again after that.
Yeah, because it seemed like they went into like, hey, we're gonna fight, and then he never saw him again. So I'm like, oh, he must have died.
Yeah, and if you guys are wondering who we're talking about, Josh Brolin played Gurney Halleck. He's basically Paul's dad's right-hand man. He's kind of like an older brother for Paul. Him and Duck in Idaho, they're both his weapons masters, and they've trained him over the years. And they've done a really good job because, like, Paul is a dangerous guy. I was kind of taken aback from the whole situation with Jamie's at the end when he's fighting the Fremen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's struggling to like kill this guy. So basically, guys, what happened on this part is Jamie's is a Furman. He's one of their best soldiers, like a very good at combat. And he didn't want to accept Paul and his mother into the ranks of the Furman. So he challenged them to a duel. And the Furman, how they fight is they fight to the death. And Paul's never killed anybody before, so he bested Jamie's like 2 or 3 times before he ended up killing him. And it was like a moment of him, one, kind of stepping into his role for the visions that he has, and you can tell that everybody around him shocked. They're like, one, this dude is this good of a fighter. He's never killed a man. Secondly, we're about to watch this boy turn into a man. And after he kills him, you see like the other Furman kind of embracing him and accepting him in the ranks because he just killed one of their best warriors with ease. He didn't even get scratched. So now you got people who were non-believers and saying, oh, he's not the Lisei Abao Gali or whatever they're calling him, or he's not the Messiah, to, oh, this kid's the real deal right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, what else I wanted to say? I can't think of anything else right now.
What did you rate the movie on a scale of 1 to 5?
4.
I'll give it a 4.5. Yeah, that was kind of mine.
Mostly a 4.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, though, I remember when they first announced this movie, I think early last year, I was trying to figure out what the hype was. Because I didn't know. I heard it probably in the past, but didn't know what it really was. And some fellow YouTubers had to explain it to me. Rest in peace to Adam from Raiders of the Lost Flicks. But he had to explain it to me what the whole plot was and everything, because I did not know what the hype was. So.
Yeah, it was definitely I've never heard of this universe. Like, I never heard of any hype, but there's definitely hype now. Like, if you look at the reviews, it's 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, 8.3 on IMDb, and 75 on Metacritic. I look to Metacritic the most for my ratings, and generally anything in the 70, 75, 80 area, I consider to be a good movie from their ratings.
Well, let's see what it is now. If I can get to there.
So far, they've made $129.70 million off of this movie. So they're doing pretty good at the box office, considering that it also released on HBO Max.
Here. I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, they got some agendas over there.
Let's see if it makes its money up from it.
Yeah, because I couldn't imagine how expensive
they
this
make
was.
Their money up, because it's happening.
Yeah,
83.
You know what's like
Dune Drifter.
I don't know. You know what's like crazy? The craziest part of this whole movie is like one thing I did want to see a little bit more of is I wanted to see the Harkonnens in battle because when you had Josh Brolin, Gurney Halleck, talking about the last time he encountered them, it was like a lot of passion. He's like, they're brutal. I wanted to see them fight a little bit more in the movie. We only really got to see a lot of the Sardaukar fight, which was an incredible experience. Like, them dudes are killers. When they when they were floating down in that little siege, their Furman siege. By the way, sieges are their little hideouts underground in this planet Arrakis. I thought that part was pretty cool. I'm like, yo, these dudes mean business. If they're if I'm related to the military, these guys are like Green Berets. They're special forces. Like, they're on another level.
Yeah, they had some parts that actually look like Star Wars, like the beginning part. When, I said, when they had all those officers out, I said, that looks like Star Wars. The ships look like X-Wing helicopters.
Yeah, I like those Thopters, they call them. They look like dragonflies. They're like helicopters, but they look like dragonflies. Those are pretty cool. But there were some Star Wars parts in there. When Paul was talking to his mom after the Bene Gesserit left, and they showed him just standing, like when she turned around, they just showed him standing in the fog because he overheard everything. That was like a Star Wars part for me. Like, that's the part that reminded me of Anakin. Like, he was almost embracing the dark side of the Force or something.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot this came out this week.
What's that?
Injustice, Gods Among Us. No, the video game.
They came out with a movie?
Yeah, animated movie.
Oh, I gotta look that up. Is that your next watch?
I don't know. It's probably not on HBO Max yet. It's on the screen right now.
Oh, okay.
But I heard they mix did something different with it.
The audience score gave it a 43%. So
yeah, I heard they did some stupid stuff that was not in the video game or comic book run for it. I don't know.
Yeah, usually if the audience score is bad on Rotten Tomatoes, then it's probably a bad movie because the audience is always like they're pretty reliable when it comes to their Rotten Tomatoes reviews versus the actual reviewers.
Here's what some of the fans had to say. Injustice has a great premise and needed to advance the source material and not just emulate its violence. An opportunity was lost here to really challenge Batman and Superman unyielding virtue. Damn. Well, that's not good. I kind of figured they was going to do something like that. They was going to pack it in all into one movie.
Yeah. They probably
Which you
didn't
really
give it
can't
enough
do.
love because it's an animated movie, so they're like, meh.
And usually DC does good on their animation films.
They do.
Probably not this one. Streaming movies. Or you can't even stream that. You can't stream that on HBO Max. I didn't even see it on there.
No, I haven't seen it on there either yet.
The only one that might be on there is that Batman Long Halloween Part 2. That's it.
I haven't watched any of those animated movies. I need to check those out. I watched one, and I think it was which one was it? Red Hood? The one with Red Hood?
You talk about that re-release interactive thing they released last year?
I think so, yeah.
I watched that. Yeah, the story's. I ain't saying the story's over, but it's like 10 years too late for that.
Another thing about this movie is really well casted.
You said really well, what?
It was well casted.
It was. I do admit that. Somebody didn't like it. Villanueva has pulled off an impressive fear-shift craft that is very large yet very empty. Full of wondrous sights that shot with a stunch like a wonder.
I think that's what made me like it because it left so many questions available. Like you got the answers that you needed to understand the foundation of everything, but for the most part, it just kind of kept me wanting more.
But most of the people out here say they talk about that cinematography and the direction and scope. I like people like that, but I guess some people didn't resonate with them yet. Because the superhero didn't die, probably.
I think we had enough death in this movie.
I think we had enough freaking heroes dying.
Yeah, I was kind of upset about the Duncan, Idaho situation. I'm like, man, I really wanted to see more of Jason Momoa.
Yeah. You say you didn't see Bond yet, or you say you saw it already?
I haven't seen it yet. I was supposed to go today, but I didn't. So I'll probably try to make some time to go see it tomorrow. About to go to the gym after we're done here.
That time is it 9 o'clock, 9:30 for y'all over there?
Yeah.
I won't hold you up too long. Yeah, I had to give it a 4 out of 5. Hope they elaborate more. I don't know if I'm gonna read the books. You said 6 books, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get them done by like Thanksgiving. If I'm just gotta chip away like 30 minutes a day, I will. But I personally cannot wait for the other movie to come out to figure out what happens. I've been locked in since I saw it. Like I said, I texted my friend Jerome because he was telling me about it. Like literally 19 minutes in, I'm like, yo, this is one of the best films I've ever seen. And I know some people really like it or they just hate it. I know Tyrone Magnus on his channel, he thought it was like boring. And I can get that. I can totally see how people, it's a slow burn. It's not, it's not a action-packed movie, but the action scenes that are in there, they're very, very good. And the choreography is amazing on the fighting scenes. So if you like Star Wars, like the fan of the old world Star Wars, you'll like this.